I'm delighted to introduce to you Trudy Harris. She's a member of the Passport Club. Trudy's been involved with philanthropy and community service for many, many years. In 2010, she joined the Boys and Girls Club of Placer County as development manager, focusing on fundraising organizations. With her partner Cynthia, she started Team Giving in 2016. Together, they have successfully created an organization that has already served over 33 nonprofits, with coordinating over 1,700 hours just in the year 2016. Welcome, Trudy Harris.
Thank you very much. I speak to a lot of Rotary clubs. I've been to the Orangeville Club. They are a lot of fun. It's a great group. So I'm really happy to be here. I had the pleasure of meeting with Ann a couple weeks ago, and we got to talking, and she said, you need to come talk to our club because of what we do. I have a short video we're going to show in just a second, but basically Team Giving is a nonprofit here in the community that serves the nonprofit community by matching up volunteers with them to get their needed projects done. So we go around all the different nonprofits all over the region. We talk to them. We find out what exactly do they need help with, and then we go try and find volunteer teams to help them out. When we started in February of last year, my partner Cynthia and I, who both worked at the Boys and Girls Club, and said we decided to take this leap of faith. We knew it was something that was needed, and we just didn't know quite how it was going to go. Got the blessings of our family and said, okay, we're going to go for this. And we went out and we thought, we'll spend the first year meeting some nonprofits and talking with some people. Well, it's like the lady said, 1,700 volunteer hours that we coordinated alone with over 500 volunteers all over the region. So obviously there's a need for what we do, which is wonderful. We do have a short video I'd like to show you, just kind of highlight some of what we've done, and it's got to go keep a little interest. So here we go with that.
Good afternoon. My name is Russell, and I am a wilderness explorer in Tribe 54, Sweat Lodge 12. Are you in need of any assistance today, sir?
No.
I could help you cross the street.
No.
I could help you cross your yard.
No.
I could help you cross your porch.
No.
Well, I gotta help you cross something.
No, I'm doing fine.
So as you can see, the numbers in there are lower than what I had told you earlier. because we just have been rolling so hard and heavy, we haven't had a chance to get this updated. So we're over, probably close to 1,800 hours. One of the things that we realized when we started out on this adventure was that, excuse me, was that the nonprofits have a need for help. When I say nonprofits, I refer to service groups, nonprofit organizations, shelters, all kinds of things. So we work with anyone that's a 501c3. So if they're a 501c3, we can help them. But they all need help with various projects. And what happens is a lot of times the person who's in charge of volunteers is also in charge of the programming and the administration, and in some cases they're answering the phone and serving the meals at the shelter. So I experienced this firsthand a couple of times, but it really kind of hit home when I was working at the Boys and Girls Club. I got a call from Kohl's department store in Roseville. And they said, we have 5 employees for 5 hours and $500. We want to come help you. And I'm like, okay, sounds great. The problem is that I was running a golf tournament. My program director was dealing with school just starting with the kids and all that goes along with that. And by the time I got back to them 2 weeks later, they'd gone to another nonprofit, which is fine. They needed to get it planned and out to their employees. So I thought, these are lost opportunities that are happening. These people want to help. And, you know, you don't necessarily have the manpower to take care of it. And it's not just the nonprofit side. On the business side of things, it's a similar situation. A lot of larger companies like Apple, Safe Credit Union, Dignity, they all have volunteer programs. PG&E is tasked with getting 4,000 volunteer hours done each year. And there's one gentleman that handles that pretty much. And he's up to here, because he's also the community, affairs manager. So the businesses were struggling and trying to get this done too, because they would call the nonprofits who are already overworked, and they weren't getting the calls back, so they moved to the next one. And what would happen is they would go to the, the ones everybody kind of knows about, Habitat for Humanity, which I used to build houses with them in the Bay Area, they're fabulous. But they have a waiting list for volunteers. So one of the really neat things that we've been able to do is to really reach out to the community groups that are in our neighborhoods that are really making the changes. The food banks, the shelters, the domestic violence shelters, the homeless services and stuff like that. So we started reaching out to the community. Although I started out in Placer County, so that's kind of where we were based from our work at the Boys and Girls Club. And we met with the different nonprofits. We go and meet with every single nonprofit we're going to work with. We feel like it's really important to be hands-on, to actually see their facility, because it's one thing to talk to someone on the phone. They say, well, I need someone to help come sort, food for food distribution packets. But if you can go and see what the facility is like, you get a better idea of what's happening. We find out what's their real pressing needs, what's their needs, and what's their, gee, that would be great if we could get this done. So we kind of can categorize it a little bit and find out what's going to be the most help for them. Because our overall mission, our mission statement is to inspire, guide, and advocate for regional nonprofit organizations by matching their needs with businesses, corporations, and service clubs to complete volunteer projects. So that's why we're here. So we want to find out what's really needed. We also can find out what kind of volunteers do they need. Some places don't necessarily have projects that are family-friendly or child-friendly. Other places welcome entire families. We have a wonderful organization in Roseville called Excel Roseville that we get volunteers for every single month. They do a food distribution to families in the neighborhood in need. And they get, the big truck pulls in and all this food comes from Walmart and Food Mart and Sprouts and different organizations in the area that have made the donations. And it's just delivered. It's actually kind of, the first time I was there, I was like, wow, that's a lot of eggs. I mean, it's just, tons of food, which is wonderful. But it's got to be broken down and put into boxes and put together for the families and the families that have signed up for it. So we go there every month. We have a crew of volunteers. And what's really nice is we're starting to connect partnerships. Like we're getting volunteer groups that are going to different organizations. They're loving what they're doing. Their employees are having a fantastic time. And so they want to go back. And that's really our long-term goal, is to really get people engaged with these nonprofits and get to where they have kind of it becomes their thing to do. And they bring their kids. I mean, when they go out to Excel, you've got 4- and 5-year-olds sweeping and people are gardening and, while we're waiting for the food trucks to get there, we organize the library and clean the kitchen and just whatever we're doing. Because, they're too busy. They're taking care of 75 to 100 kids, feeding them 2 hot meals a day. And so, yeah, I know. I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. So those are the kind of organizations that we work with. We also work with the large organizations like Sacramento Food Bank. We worked with the Salvation Army. I don't know if you guys saw that one picture with the people sorting the toys and all the boxes in the background. If you ever get a chance, go to the Salvation Army distribution at Christmas. They take care of over 5,000 families. It is, you walk in the room and you just go, I can't believe it. There's 5,000 boxes set up and ready to go, and they have it down to a fine science. I was like, come to my house and organize my shelves, please, okay, so I can have some room. But that was great, because we had Safe Credit Union out there, we had kids from the Interact clubs at the high schools, all different kinds of people just helping out in different capacities. So that's kind of what we've done. Like I said, we took off and thought, well, we'll just talk to some nonprofits and we'll kind of do this and do that. It's just, we actually had to stop going and visiting with nonprofits in November, December, because we were so busy with the holidays, we needed to work on fulfilling the commitments that we had, you know, to get that done. So now we're picking it back up. I met with Make-A-Wish on Friday, you know, different organizations all over. As far as Rotary clubs, we've had a, oh, thank you. Sure. Thank you very much. Much better. As far as Rotary clubs, we've had some great partnerships with the Rotary clubs. I don't know if you saw the project with the big rocks. That was the Auburn Rotary Club. We got them a whole crew to help put in the new art park. So that was, we've actually done 3 or 4 projects with them. We partnered with Pocket Greenhaven and Elk Grove, and that was really a neat one. This is the other thing that we can do too, is we're creating partnerships between service clubs and between volunteer groups. We do a lot of work with Keaton Raphael Memorial. You guys are familiar with that organization. They support families dealing with childhood cancer. So they get in there and they take care of them any way they possibly can, everything from gas cards and new tires for their car, to toys for the kids, to school supplies, whatever they need, so that they can focus on getting their child well. And so we've done several events with them. They've kind of become one of our main guys that we like to work with. And they have a big day at Funderland at William Land Park. Gives them the park for the entire evening for these families. So the families and the kids come in, and it's pretty moving. You've got the little guys with little bandanas on, whatever. We had one little girl, she had her little IV with her and stuff. But the kids are there, the families are there, the parents can come, cousins, whoever. The entire evening is taken care of by Keaton Raphael. Hot dogs, they have, you know, sodas, they have Cracker Jacks, whatever. They have face painting. We had 2 businesses there doing face painting. Apple Computer came and put tattoos on the kids. I had several by the time I left from the evening. But the coolest thing was we got the 2 Rotary clubs, the Greenhaven Pocket and the Elk Grove, and they partnered together and they made over 400 root beer floats for the families and kids that were there in the park. But it was really nice because they brought their Rotary truck, but they were able to share the workload and the costs and everything else. So one club didn't have to take the whole thing on necessarily, and they had a fantastic time. They're already committed to do it for as long as they're around. They just love doing it. So we can certainly work on some partnerships with you guys, with other clubs, or with groups, or something like that. The other side of the coin, obviously, as you mentioned, that you need, who was talking about the craft feed? Okay. That you might need a few volunteers. That's something that we can absolutely try and help you with. Yeah, we had the Seroptimists had their craft feed Friday night, and we had one lady that went out there. They needed one more person to sell raffle tickets. We called up one of our volunteer groups. She said, sure, I'll go after work, no problem. She went out there, she had a blast. Now she's begging me to go to a craft feed, which we might be yours. She's like, I want crab now. And that's the other thing that we found has really worked out well too, is we talked to volunteers when we first started, and we found out what they really needed and wanted. Because, you know, they're the ones that have to be able to get to the volunteer jobs. And the one thing that we've heard a lot was, I don't really know how to find someplace. I mean, I know I can go to, like, you know, a website of one of the major organizations and sign up, and, you know, or you can go to Volunteer Match, I think is one of the ones, and they have, but there's 370 listings and they're all over Northern California. So we really try to create a very simple path for people who want to volunteer. They go to our website, we have a volunteer page. On that page there's a drop-down menu for volunteer jobs. They can go on there, and all the volunteer, well, when we can keep up with it. Sometimes we have trouble keeping it updated, but most of the volunteer jobs are on there. They can click on that, get some details if they want to volunteer. They hit the sign up button. We call them within 24 hours. We don't let them slip away, if you will. Because we want to catch them when they're really interested and you know. I'm getting this one.
I got dirt done too,
Yeah.
sorry, I forgot.
It's okay. I'll sit here going, it's not my imagination. And we've had an excellent response to that. People have actually said to us, this is so fantastic because I want to help, but I've got limited time or limited availability. I can just go to your website and go, oh, that looks great. They call a couple friends. They're out there. They're taking care of it. So it's been really wonderful. We have a couple of programs that we're hoping to implement as we get more staff in the coming year. We have one called Inspired Youth that we're really excited about, and our whole idea there is to reach out to the youth in the community, both at a high school and college level or junior college level, that don't necessarily have a connection to a volunteer pipeline, if you will. You know, kids that are involved in Interact or Key Club or Leo Club or something like that, they kind of have that in their life. It's part of their life. A lot of them, probably their parents were volunteers and stuff like that. But there's a lot of kids out there that don't necessarily have that, and we want to create a program where these kids can learn the joys of volunteering, learn how important it is for them and their growth, and getting involved with the community, and make lifelong volunteers and philanthropists out of those kids. So that's a whole nother endeavor, and we're kind of going, but that could be huge. We actually may approach some of the school districts and see about working with the schools directly, but we just want to be a support system to get the volunteers out in the community. Other than that, we've had some great experiences in terms of team giving. I actually got to go and, through a translator, talk to a Korean delegation that was here. It was a bunch of nonprofit leaders from Korea that were trying to figure out how to engage their younger people. And so they asked us to come and speak to them, and they were actually an amazingly wonderful group of people. They were so happy to be here. And of course it was all translated, so I would go blah, 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 and someone would completely translate it. I don't know if they told them the right thing. They might have told them, you know, what I was getting, I don't know. I'm just going, yeah, that sounds good. So, but they were really sweet. It was really an honor to have the Impact Foundry, which is a nonprofit support group, ask us to come and talk about our experiences. We got invited to Sac State to teach a class. No one will call me professor. I'm really annoyed. My husband just said no. But that was great. We got to talk to a bunch of young sports entrepreneurs. And these kids, I'll tell you, they were unbelievable. I walked out of there going, this is great. They were awesome kids. They took it to heart what we had to say, and they really embraced the idea of serving the community. What I'd like to just kind of leave you guys with is, if you have a business or you know a business that wants to volunteer, that's the other thing we've gotten really good at, is smaller businesses want to do something, they don't necessarily know where to go or how to do it. We can totally set it up. We create sign-up sheets, we create little promotional flyers, we email them to you, so we make it really, really easy for you to get your team out there volunteering. So if you work in an office or a business and somebody said, wouldn't it be nice to go out and do a community service day? We can completely handle that for you. For you guys, I really want to find out what you've got coming up and what you need volunteers for. We'll do the best we can. Obviously, we never promise, because, you know, you never know, but we're pretty good. We actually found, for that rock project for the Rotary Club, we found 5 volunteers in 3 hours. So we're like, we're good. But yeah, we're just really happy to be here. We love what we're doing. We're looking forward to expanding more into this area. And I invite you all to go to our website, see what we do, find out more about us, and yeah, just continue to do what you do. You guys are amazing. I'm so honored to be a Passport Rotarian. It's my stepping stone to forward, so I'm really glad to be here. Thank you very much.